Book 1 of William Wordsworth's The Prelude, called Introduction, Childhood and School Time, opens the epic poem's narrative with the poet deciding to leave his life outside England and return to his native stomping grounds in the Lake District, away from cities and more open to the elements. There, he can clearly develop the philosophical ideas for his poems by being in close communion with the land and nature he knows best. Book 1 gives details on many possibilities for poetic inspiration that Wordsworth considered. The hope of active days, of dignity in thought, of prowess in an honorable field. He thinks of British or classical themes that would inspire his thoughts. Ultimately, he realizes that returning to the River Derwent in the northwest of England, in the heart of the Lake District, might provide the best sources for memories that could lead to new poetry. There, he might find a dark, invisible workmanship that reconciles discordant elements and leads him to the harmony of music he seeks. He recalls all the terrors and excitements of his youth there, giving details about an incident in which one evening he impulsively borrowed the boat a shepherd left tied up on the lakeshore. He now recognizes this as a youthful act of thievery that terrorized him. In fact, he'd felt himself pursued by the cliff at the shore itself, which seemed to follow him, making him aware of his transgression until he turned around and brought the boat back to where it belonged. The rest of Book 1 describes his early childhood and his maturation as a schoolboy in the ways in which he went beyond more traditional education and began opening himself to nature and truths of existence. As he grew in age and size, his soul also grew under divine influence and inspiration, and nature was his primary companion among his boyish sports. This education and stimulating home life opened a world to him of joy and eternal beauty. Wordsworth speaks of the journey ahead of him as a process of creation and finding the proper themes for his poem, concluding that gleams like the flashing of a shield, the earth, and common face of nature gave him access to rememberable things. The first book of the Prelude is an exciting and passionate introduction to the person Wordsworth became. Writing at the midpoint of his life, he remembers the events of his early childhood that laid the foundation for the themes he chooses to pursue in his poetry. Fear and joy both drive the creative impulse in Wordsworth the poet, and he finds the ways, as an adult, to conquer any possible lethargy and fear. The book gives plenty of shout-outs to Samuel Taylor Coleridge as "Oh Friend," the fellow poet who inspired Wordsworth to find his calling. He admits the theme will be the story of my life, the road lies plain before me. A search for an epic theme sought in all aspects of the past thus comes down best, he confesses, to himself.